Hello everyone, this is JPL back for another podcast. And we are the Council, the podcast name. And today I am joined with...
Toa Legend. Again.
Yeah! Woo! He's in a lot these days.
Woohoo.
Yeah, anyway. So today we'll be talking about Legends of Tomorrow, The Flash, and Arrow.
Yeah.
So let's get started with Legends. So, Toa.
In this episode,
Stuff happens.
basically, we're just off the point where they have destroyed the Time Masters, and they're like, we're gonna do stuff on our own now, but also at the same time, so is Vandal Savage.
Okay.
So, basically... Oh, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So then they stop him. Weird time travel stuff that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so just like a brief synopsis of what makes me mad. So Vandal Savage is like, hey, I have a time ship now. I'm going to jump to 3 distinct periods of time and blow up the world. But he has to know that that cannot work. Okay, so let's explain. The whole the goal of... I always forget. Spoiler warning right now. Just saying.
Yes.
Anyways, his goal is he wants to reset time back to what was it? 3000 BC or something?
Well, Egypt.
Yeah. Back to his first life. So that he can become the ruler of everything, whatnot. And by doing so, or to do so, he wants to create a paradox. And he's thinking, oh, okay, a paradox. What do I need to do that? So he gets these rocks from space. Is it Thanagarian rocks?
Yeah, Fenrir, yeah, something like that.
From basically the Hawk people that we'll probably find out more on later.
So here's a question my mom has. So,
yep.
Carter and Kendra both have Hawk powers. Why doesn't Savage?
That is a very good question. I don't know.
Reasons.
Yeah, I guess so. But then again, he has immortality, whereas they don't really. They get respawned, I suppose, kind of. There's a better way.
Yeah.
Reincarnated, there we go. But they don't really have immortality. They just kind of die. Which I feel like the best course of action is to, like, go to Vandal Savage, be like, hey, what's up? Live out a good long life with him as their friend, and then at the end of it, they just allow him to kill them, and then he lives on, and they are reborn in a couple days.
Yes, and then there's the whole issue about love and all that.
I guess that's true. I guess he doesn't really like Carter all that much.
Mm-hmm. Well, he did murder them.
What do you mean?
Well, Savage did kill both of them.
I thought you said he didn't. I'm like, yeah, he kind of, he did.
Okay.
I feel like he's done that, like, 200 something times. Okay.
Yeah, he did murder them the first time around, so I don't see how they can be friends.
Yeah, that would put a damper on things.
Mm-hmm. So you were saying?
Anyways, so Vandal Savage is like, hey, I'm going to blow up the Earth 3 times over. And in doing so, I'll create a time paradox that'll reset the world back to before... Probably, I'm assuming before he got his powers, or right after.
Well, to the time where he got it.
Yeah.
How does that make sense?
I don't know. But anyways, so he's like, yeah, I'm going to blow it up. And so the Legends of Tomorrow team is like, oh, but if he's around this Thanagarian rock, he'll be weak or something.
Yeah, well, he's no longer immortal if he's around it.
Yeah.
For some reason.
So basically it's his kryptonite, kind of. So he's like, alright, well, I'm going to blow the world up. But they're like, oh, we can kill him now. So they travel to those 3 points in time. And they kill him and find ways to basically delete the rocks. Whether that be turning it into water, which was pretty cool.
Uh-huh.
I like the sass of White Canary after that event.
Sias.
Yeah. And then...
Oh, yeah. He got my boots wet.
Yeah.
Okay.
That part, I laughed. I honestly laughed. Anyways, and then there was... What else did they do? Oh, they shrunk it, which was pretty funny, too. And then the third one, they both tried it, and it was like, oh, I'm out of power. Oh, I can't do this now for some reason.
And then Rip Hunter just takes in his time machine, goes to the sun.
Yeah.
And then comes back.
I guess.
And does it again, but not again.
Yeah, I'm a little confused on that too, but whatever.
Whatever, it was awesome.
Yeah. Anyways, it was a really good finale. I'm glad it did seem a little bit dark in that
dark.
Well, yeah, just in how like they straight up killed him off 3 times.
I suppose.
But I guess they kind of needed to be honest. Also very sad not to have Captain Cold in this.
I thought that was the most bold move they can ever do.
Right? It was so good.
Because he is the best character on that show.
I'm with you 100%.
And killing him off is just like I actually would have been happy if the Atom just died. Like it's sad to see him die.
Yeah.
I prefer.
I don't know. I'm kind of I don't know. It's such a great move, though. Like, I can't say I'm not going to miss him, because I'm going to miss him. But, like...
Well, actually...
He's probably coming back.
He's gonna return somehow, because the actor has contracts for all shows now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then that's...
So, we don't know what happens. Like, my idea was that he's going to show up in the finale, because the thing blew up. And it's like, so, because he was in the epicenter of it, it shoved him through time with a cup of Time Masters. Something like that. That was my theory for it.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Instead, he's dead. And that's about it, yeah.
Yeah. Either way, really good finale. Good fight scenes with Vandal. I really like how when they went back in time, they saw themselves.
Ooh, yeah.
That was pretty great.
So, let's talk about Vandal as a villain. Okay. I say that he sucks as a villain.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there.
Because he has no opposing threat that, I'm like, fear for any cast member, because most of the time he's just getting thrown out of a window and something like that.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, what the heck did they do this Vandal Savage? Like, Vandal Savage in the Justice League and Young Justice and let's see, he was in some more and other stuff. Like, he was a caveman. Well, in the backstory, but they changed that to him being Egyptian for some unknown reason. But him being a caveman and going throughout life, going through the process, he still kept his caveman sense of dominance.
Yeah.
Like, he always presented his dominance over the villain, and, that's what made him an opposing villain.
Yeah.
But in this one, he's just wimpy.
Yeah, he's yeah.
Like, even the fight, when they were fighting against him, all they were doing was just hitting him, and he's just taking the beating.
Yeah.
Without giving any punches.
Yeah, he seemed more just like a creepy stalker for most of it.
But the only time I got a sense that this was like the real Vandal Savage was the episode where he's locked up on the ship in the brig.
Yeah.
And all the characters come up to him and he just gives them this intimidating speech.
Yeah. No, that one was great.
Yeah.
I feel like, so for me, I liked the actor, but I just couldn't get past his accent. For me, okay, if he's lived for what, like 5,000 years at this point,
something like that. Yeah,
he should have whatever accent he chooses to go with. Like, I just
yeah.
It bothered me, and it's nothing against the actor because the actor's great.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
That kind of.
Anyways, overall, very good finale. Good fight scenes. Good, pretty much everything.
So should we now talk about the series as a whole?
Yeah.
Okay. How do we want to go about this? Character-wise or what?
Yeah, I think that sounds about right.
So who do we want to start with? How about
Let's start with Ray.
Rip or Ray?
I think. Ray.
Palmer. Ray Palmer, yes.
Yeah. Because I feel like that's kind of where this whole thing
What?
starts out with Ray. Ray is kind of, he's almost the hero protagonist, but not really.
How so?
Well, okay. Is
he the one who convinced everyone on to go?
He was one of the first people to just straight up say yes.
Okay.
And so, like, at the start of it, he's like, well, everybody thinks I'm dead, and nobody's really, like, thought about, or I haven't really seen my impact since I've, quote-unquote, died. So, yeah, let's go ahead and jump through time and try to save the world. So, he's grown a little bit in that he's seen bad stuff, I guess. Like, beforehand, he was a little bit more cheerful. Now he's he's a little bit more serious on some things. But overall, Ray's character is pretty sturdy. Which makes sense for his character, but it can be aggravating sometimes. Of course, the whole drama thing between him and Shayara was got old.
Gosh. We'll talk about that later. Now we're just sticking to Ray. I think Ray. I love the way they incorporated his suit. Whenever make it carryable, they shrink it, and I love how it's the actual action figure of this thing, and I thought that was awesome.
It's great.
Let's see. Ooh, I also love like the bromance between Ray and Mick.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that it's so great right there.
Especially the episode where they're in prison.
Yeah, that was good.
Ray being the Boy Scout is like, oh, hello, 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 and
Yeah.
Mick is just quiet.
Like, there's such a love-hate relationship right there. Like, Mick obviously likes Ray, but he will not admit it ever.
Yep. And then Ray doesn't understand a lot of things about life. Like oh, okay. So, I mean,
Yeah. So, overall, like, he especially grew with his power set.
yeah.
Pun intended. Absolutely intended on that pun.
So then there's the whole Adam thing where he grew.
Yep.
And I don't think that was a thing about his character in the comics.
I believe it is, actually.
I thought that the growing was only for Ant-Man.
I think the Atom can.
Oh, do you know what was funny?
What was that?
So this episode came out, and then I got to see Civil War.
Uh-huh.
And seeing Adam grow big, and then Ant-Man grow big, and it's like, wow, Marvel, you're late, even though you're here early.
Yeah, so actually, it was really funny. I went to see Civil War, and I guess my dad hadn't seen all the way through the most recent Avengers, Age of Ultron.
Okay.
And so he was really confused afterwards, and he was like, so there were a lot of new characters that I feel like they didn't have introductions. I'm like, who? It's like, well, the one girl with the magic powers, Scarlet Witch, she was introduced in the last one. Oh, okay. Then there's the one red dude that can like walk through walls. Okay, yeah, Vision was introduced in the last one as well. And then he was like, but I did recognize the shrinking and growing dude. He's on that one TV show, right? Oh, Dad, no. And I just kind of sat there and chuckled for a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the worst things a fan can hear.
I mean, to be fair, they do have basically the same power set, but like...
Oh, it's just annoying when people mix up two characters.
Yeah.
Yawn.
Anyways. So, Ray was a good character overall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next.
We'll go.
Let's save the worst for last.
Okay. So, let's go to White Canary.
Okay.
She definitely took a turn towards the end of the season in that she would... Well, not really a turn, but there was the big reveal about Laurel dying, of course, in Arrow. And then she was all mad because apparently...
Rip knew.
Yeah. Rip knew and didn't bring them back in time for her to help, and apparently she would die regardless, and
more people would die in the process.
Yeah. So
like her character I think was okay for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, she was handy in fight scenes, but other than that, she did have, I think her best moments were when she interacted with the other nurse, because, you know.
Yeah.
And the other one, well, the main one would be, again, with Snart.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So the whole relationship between the two, like, it was...
I thought it was interesting. It's like,
yeah, and it definitely wasn't... I didn't feel like it was forced at all. I didn't feel like it was like other relationships on the show.
Yes. Cough, cough.
Yeah, but like it was good. It was solid. You saw it build throughout the whole thing, and of course they had this sass that went back and forth between them, and yeah, it was really nice. Of course, Snart dying towards the end of the season was
You stole the kiss, yeah.
Yeah. It was both adorable and sad and good, and because you saw the hint of how much he wanted to be a hero towards the end of it. And at first he was kind of just doing this as a gig or part of an adventure or something, but towards the end of it he's realizing how good he could actually be. And so that was cool. Of course he never expresses like his emotions in a normal way, which is really good for his character because they stayed true to that pretty much the whole way through.
Oh yeah. So have we transitioned to Snart, or? Absolutely,
we've transitioned to Snart.
Okay. Oh yeah, I really loved his character. He brought this new sense of comedy where, yeah, one, he is supposed to be part of a band of heroes, but he also was really funny whenever they had to mention robberies or anything like that. Where, what was it?
Yeah. Overall, solid character. My favorite character.
Oh yeah.
Of course, it doesn't hurt that he has an ice gun as his main weapon.
And like the sacrifice he would go to.
Yeah.
To betray his friend and to break his own hand off.
Yeah, that was intense.
Yeah, it really was. But I really loved, another thing, his relationship with Mick, the two of them together.
Yeah.
Mick, I would say, brought another form of comedy, like the dumb man's comedy.
Yeah, at least for the first part. And then the second half, he was kind of just like, yeah, I'm a simple man who wants simple things like violence and death. But there was like this sense of intelligence behind it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mick and Snart together make, of course, a great team. Snart, of course, is always the calm, cool, calculated guy, and Mick's kind of the guy that's just like, hey, let's burn everything down and have fun.
Huh.
And his growth, Mick's growth was kind of a forced one, almost, in that he had absolutely no choice in the matter because he was like, hey, why don't we just stay in a place where we can do whatever we want? We can become kings of the city. And that's where Snart really stepped out into this hero role. And we were led to believe that Snart killed Mick.
Led. Wow.
Kind of. I felt like he hadn't.
I mean, it was obvious because I'm pretty sure they would have made it a lot more dramatic than just
and
not showing us.
Yeah, that's rule number one. If you don't see a dead body, they're still alive.
But the reveal of Kronos, that was
good because that made that made him be someone new. Like before he's just all about anarchy, and then he turned it into revenge. And then I love their solution to their man problems between each other. They're just like, all right, let's basically kill each other, and whoever wins gets to get out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Mick realized, oh, I don't actually want to kill him. And that ended that.
That and also, like, there's really no point because since he's failed, he's gonna have to be killed himself.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think it was... it was good. It was a great bromance thing between the two. And then Mick in general has just been such a great, like, he's been the character that nobody expects to do things. Mm-hmm. And then he does them. And it's so cool. So I think, I don't know, Mick is a great character. And I, of course, love when they're in a meeting and their solutions are all complicated, and he's just like, why don't we just burn the whole place down? Sounds good to me.
His whole scheme is like burning and fire, and you know who else likes to burn and fire stuff, you know.
Yeah. It's pretty great. And then him talking to himself in the past, there is that sense of,
oh yeah,
like, he almost hated himself in the past for doing those things, but then he realized when he did them, he didn't mean to do them. He just didn't know what to do in response.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you know what other character works with fire? Hello?
I'm ignoring your transition.
How obvious it is, yeah.
We're obviously talking about Rip Hunter.
Yeah, okay.
So on,
because he went to the sun.
Yeah, that's it. So on to Firestorm.
Oh, okay.
New Firestorm, not Robbie ML Firestorm, of course.
Yeah.
Rip in peace, Robbie ML.
Well, he's not dead. He's just not there.
Yeah. Anyways. So,
so Firestorm, I thought, I really like the interaction between the two characters, but there's just a whole problem with which, they had to find a way that they don't solve all their problems with Firestorm because the budget they had. And so, is like, so why don't they just merge and do it? They can do it, but they can't because the budget says so, and they have to find an excuse.
Yeah. A lot of times you could definitely be like, hey, why doesn't Firestorm just do this by himself? But
why are you separating those two? It's
or one of them will run into the middle of the action while the other one's like, okay, I'll just stay on the ship. Why? You can fly around and shoot fireballs. Also, you can absorb nuclear radiation and turn magic rocks to water.
Basically, Firestorm is the only character you need for the show.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
To be honest. But, I mean, I guess in the end, well,
one, they wouldn't have a show if that was the case. And two, it cost a lot of money to do those effects.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of time rendering, especially.
Yeah.
But, so we have... Firestorm, of course, is comprised of two people. I honestly ended up liking the Doctor more towards the end. But... I mean, both are cool.
So my mom doesn't like what's his name?
Martin.
Rory? Martin?
Or
No, the black kid. What's his name?
Oh, Jax.
Jax. Yeah, that's his name. My mom didn't like him because, like he kind of talked in an interesting way, and like his big lips were distracting for her, and so.
I feel like that's racist.
I know.
He seemed kind of like a bland character. He was okay, but he didn't. I don't know.
He was cool for some things, like
Yeah,
especially in
yeah.
the 50s, how like he womanized that girl like easily.
Yeah. Yeah, he was definitely a noble character for most of the time, but like yeah, I guess he had his flaws. He's had some good character development, but I think Professor Stein, I think he's the one with the real character development.
Yeah,
But-
he's changed the most, where
Yeah.
he's not all stuck up and sciencey.
Yeah, but both of them together have worked out really, really well. I love the connection that they have.
You know, like I love the moments where they keep saying like, we have a psychic connection, and then the next episode it doesn't appear like they have that second connection anymore. It's like, what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
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 Anyways, so there's not really too much to report on that. They're cool, but they're not like
Yeah.
I guess on to
Rip.
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 Rip existed.
Yeah.
No, I of course have the utmost respect for the actor. And I found it hilarious for him to come back and do another time travel role.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's like when the show first started, it's like, oh my gosh, that's Rory.
Yeah.
But as the show continues, like, he had his own character. He
Yeah,
wasn't Rory. He was
absolutely.
Rip Hunter. Like, they were two completely opposite characters.
Yeah. And both were really, really good. I think he did an amazing job as Rory. And Rip. They both have to start with R's, don't they?
Yeah.
Rip.
And, like, there's a Rory on the team.
Yeah. Just to throw everybody else off.
Yeah.
Rip was good. He was obviously stressed out basically through the entire series, trying to save his family.
And keep
But-
everyone under control.
Yeah, which they acted like a bunch of teenagers that were like, "Hey, look, let's go rebel." But yeah, and I think they did a good job showing how like stressed and freaked out he was, and like how much he was trying to keep everybody together, but obviously couldn't. There were some dark parts to the character, which I loved, but there was a lot of
Oh yeah,
goodness.
especially where him as a kid actually stabbed someone.
Yeah, like that was pretty brutal.
It's like, whoa.
Um,
Am I watching the same show? What is this?
yeah, as well as like he blew up all of the Time Masters. He basically he pulled a Doctor Who right there. He pulled the Doctor Who. He's like, hey, I'm just gonna kill all the time people. Except, spoilers, Doctor didn't. But anyways, so him as a character was great. And I liked it. I think I like how in the end he ended up just accepting his family's death.
Yeah. And I liked his character for how it's opposite from everyone else.
Yeah.
But the thing I just did not like how they used his character is that they just used his character to explain all their time travel bullcrap.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise pretty great. So as a sub note before we move on to anybody else, I find it interesting that Gideon is his AI's name.
Yes. It's the same one. It's the same one.
Yeah. And like none of the other Time Masters, almost said Time Lords, goodness sake, none of the other Time Masters had Gideon as their navigation system.
Yes.
So I feel like there has to be a connection to Rip and Eobard, at least some way, somehow.
I know that Gideon was made by the Flash.
Okay.
So
I guess we'll have to
find out next season.
I'm hoping so.
Oh, especially with a 4-night crossover.
Yep. So, and then last but not least, we have the Hawk people.
Oh my gosh.
Which, so,
They ruined those characters for me.
Yeah. So at the start of, for the introduction to, Shayara, aka Kendra, we met her, and she was with Cisco.
She was once a barista.
Yeah, and I thought, that's
basically
super.
her only character is that she was once a barista.
Yeah, and like, I thought, that's super cute. I mean, everybody loves Cisco. I love Cisco. How can you not like Cisco? Cisco's great.
Yeah.
He's like Felicity, but without the drama and with more nerdy references. It's great. So, Cisco meets her, falls in love with her, and then she's like, oh, sorry, found this other dude. I have to follow destiny. And then that other dude dies. Carter dies.
Yes.
And
then she goes with Ray.
Ray, which there's a whole like episode that was about the competition between
and
Ray
how at the end,
and,
like they don't want they decide not to be with each other, and then the next episode,
yeah, they're just like, hey, do you want to be together? Sure.
And then every episode afterwards, it's always on and off. We should be together. No, we shouldn't be together.
Yeah,
it's like
it was Arrow all over again.
Well, it was worse than Arrow.
But so anyways, and like the whole season it seemed to be about fighting destiny, and then at the end she's like, no, I'm gonna be with Carter now.
It was like, Ray, I want to be with you, and Ray's like, I'm done with you, so just go with Carter.
Yeah. Hashtag respect.
And like,
Ray.
and literally, Kendra could have just killed Savage. Right there, Savage was at her mercy, but oh my God, Carter!
Yeah, and this is Carter from the future, too,
and doesn't have any memories. And I was thinking, Rip, just kill Carter!
Yeah,
shoot him so that she can kill Savage. My gosh!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! And really, even before she had the mesh, she didn't really do anything. Like, she flew. It's like, caca!
Yeah.
We never see her fight anyone.
Yeah, and her fighting style was basically, I'm going to flap out my wings, and once I do, you guys lose. It's like...
I'm going to fly around, maybe kick someone in the face for 1 second, and then not do anything else. Just circle around people like vultures.
It was pretty sad.
And she did stuff with a mace.
Yeah. Of course, Carter didn't really have too much character development. I like the reveal.
I think the best decision they made was kill off Carter at the beginning.
Absolutely.
Oh.
I didn't really like Carter from the start. And then he died, and it was like, okay, great.
It's like Carter and Kendra are just one-dimensional characters.
Absolutely.
Basically.
Like, okay, I'll give Kendra a 2-dimensional look, but she's not.
I would give her that too.
She's nowhere near Snart or White Canary or
Mick
or even Ray. Like, Ray's not necessarily 3-dimensional, but he's not that bad.
He's like 2.5.
Yeah. Anyways, overall, good season. Great way to start the show.
Yeah.
I wish they didn't have so much drama, like relational drama, but otherwise,
Ooh.
it's good.
And the cliffhanger there.
Oh, on to like them going into the future?
I mean the cliffhanger
past.
about Our Man.
Our Man?
Yeah, that's the guy's character, Our Man. Like one who crash landed the ship is like, oh, you don't go on that ship.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that one. Yeah, I'm a bit excited for that.
And Justice Society of America.
Yes, once they said that, I'm like, okay, this is the best episode ever.
Oh my gosh,
Because
fantastic, yeah.
Because that means that they're absolutely setting up for Justice League.
Well, maybe not the actual Justice League.
No, they have to now.
How?
They have to. Okay, well,
they can do
off,
Justice Society of America. That's basically what they can do.
And this is the transition to the next episode. I'm so good at this. So,
to what?
How they to the Flash?
No. I mean,
okay.
Damn it! I should have said that.
So, this is how they do Justice League right here. So, what they do is they're like Justice Society of America. They go into the future, whatever. They discover these superheroes. In the Flash, what happens in this season finale? Obviously, Flash kind of fights Zoom. He runs a race, but
okay, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah. The anyway. Focal point of the season or of the finale is that Flash goes back and saves his mom, and creates what most fans know as the Flashpoint paradox.
Mm-hmm.
Which in the Flashpoint paradox, one of the main characters is Batman, but not Bruce Wayne Batman, Thomas Wayne Batman.
Which I don't think they'll be able to do.
I think they should try.
It's like, I think if they try to do it, the thing that comes to mind, just Robert Queen, the Green Arrow, is what I'm thinking.
Maybe they might do that. That would suck though.
Because they can't really do that. I mean,
I think if they did do it though, it would be a great way to set up Batman. They could have their own Batman TV show that isn't Gotham. Oh, that would be great.
I mean, Gotham is a great show.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. It's amazing. I love it. But
oh yeah.
I want a current Batman show, and I want a current Superman show.
That's not a two-dimensional series.
Yeah.
And it's not a video game.
Yeah. So.
And that's not the movie.
Yeah, they can set up using the Flashpoint paradox. They can set up so many different characters. They can set up.
Isn't Batman already set up though?
He kind of.
Because Harrison Wells is like, oh, you want to be a superhero like Batman? Well, you can't be. That's what he said.
It's debated whether that was the actual line or not.
Yeah, for sure.
But Batman isn't fully set up yet.
No.
And we did have that newspaper article.
We have hints towards it. Mm-hmm. That's what we have.
Absolutely. I think it would be great if they did fully set up for Batman. They could fully set up for Green Lantern, maybe.
Oh.
Which would be awesome.
I think, they don't really want to new shows, because when they do that, the other shows suffer.
That's true. I think at least the thing is they could do Batman and not have to create a new show for it, because Batman, it would be kind of like Vixen, I suppose.
Well, Vixen was a 2D thing.
Yeah. No, I know. It was on CW Seed, but she was kind of brought in and then not really brought back yet onto Flash or Arrow.
Well, she was actually on Arrow. Yeah.
Yeah. I know, but she wasn't really brought back after that, and we don't know if she will be. But main point being, she's a vigilante of a city that's pretty far away, but she does she is called upon when they need help, and then otherwise she's just chilling at home and saving that city. I think they could do that with Batman.
Yeah.
Anyways. On to the Flash. Synopsis of this episode. Zoom's
okay, I guess.
Zoom's like, okay, we need to race Barry Allen. And Barry Allen's like, but what if I don't want to race? Zoom's like,
now kill your friends.
Yeah. And Zoom's whole plot is, hey, we'll race, but in the process, I'm going to store all the energy from our race and destroy every other planet in the multiverse besides this one. Which, in my opinion, is kind of a stupid idea. But
yeah,
he's a villain.
How does that even work?
Yeah, and then what would have happened if Vandal Savage had done that at the same time? Would there just be a paradox?
Like, hold on. Like, in every show, the finale involves the world ending.
Right?
It's like, okay, let's see. If Vantage won...
Bandage?
What? Vantage.
That's his new villain name, Bandage.
If Savage won, Vandal,
Mm-hmm.
then really nothing would have happened. That's basically it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. So they had this race, or they are about to have this race, and then they do have this race, and Barry's like chasing Zoom, and then he figures out how to make a time remnant, which is something.
Time remnant sucks.
Yeah.
Like, they can't be explained properly.
Right. Like, Zoom kind of tries to explain it, and he's like, oh yeah, I went back in time and got a previous version of myself, and then I killed it. Well,
and how are you still alive, honey?
Yeah, unless he ran into a different dimension.
I mean, it's like, it's weird, because, the Flash, when he saved his mom, the past Flash disappeared.
Yeah.
And so there's that weirdness.
Yeah, it's definitely annoying, for sure. So, Barry is like, okay, I'm going to create my own time remnant.
Okay.
And so, now Flash is chasing Zoom on the magic racetrack of death. Yes. And he's like, okay, I'll create a second version of myself. And the second version is going to save my friends and also absorb the power that would be shot into the multiverse. Kind of?
No, I think the second Flash, the one that came out, the older Flash, he fought Zoom to keep him away from, the original Flash, who was reversing the polarity. And basically that's where we have Crisis on Infinite Earths, where the Flash, what was it, Wally West? I don't know. Like, where the character does that and he evaporates.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then we have these wraiths?
Oh,
Time
yeah.
wraiths.
Time wraiths.
They come in and create the Black Flash.
The Black Flash?
Oh, yeah, he's another Flash villain. The black suit and the red symbol.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I get what you're saying.
And so, they take him away. He's definitely gonna return.
Absolutely. Like, there's no way he would.
Like, they don't create a comic book villain, a well-known comic book villain, and then just take him away.
Yeah. And then the wraiths were kind of the Barry Allen's gonna kill someone. Oh no! How can we say? Oh, okay. There you go. Which the wraiths were kind of just explained that they were chasing Zoom the whole time, like just recently, but that's okay. In the end, Zoom's taken away. Barry's like, woohoo, we saved the day. Me and my dead self. And
they have a party and stuff.
They tend to have parties when when it's the end of the season. Also, Wally West knows that the Flash is the Flash. And then the Flash is like, Iris, I love you, but we can't be together because drama. And she's like, oh, it's okay, I'll wait for you because you waited for me. And he's like, ha, psych, I'm going back in time and saving my mom.
It's like, oh, I know I had an episode of accepting my mom's death, but my dad's dead now, so I'm going back in time to save my mom.
It's like, okay, whatever. So,
oh, wait, no, after that. Oh, after that was Jay Garrick.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Jay Garrick.
Oh, the best part of that episode,
This is pretty awesome. So, Jay Garrick, we find out Zoom, being quote-unquote Jay Garrick, was not the real Jay Garrick, but Jay Garrick was a person that he stole from a different dimension who was the Flash, but Zoom was like, I'm going to try to take his powers, and then that didn't work. So he's just like, alright, I'll just hold him hostage. And then he thought, hey, what if I'm the hero and the villain? So he stole the identity and the color scheme and the whole concept behind Jay Garrick.
I'm pretty sure everyone figured out that the guy in the mask was Jay Garrick.
Yeah.
And the actor for Barry's dad.
Well, okay, so basically we knew that the character was blonde. And we only have 2 blonde characters on the show, unless you count Oliver.
Okay.
So, it was either going to be... Well, I guess 3. It was either going to be Eobard Thawne, or Eddie, or Mr. Allen.
Where does blonde come in?
Because you could see it in the mask.
Blonde?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like if you looked at behind the mask, not behind the mask, but on the back of the character's head in the mask, you could see that he was blonde. There really aren't that many blonde characters on the Flash. Anyways, so we had the choice of like 3 characters there, which I figured it wasn't going to be Eddie. Eobard would be kind of strange. So I thought, oh, especially when the Flash's dad died, it was kind of like, oh, I see. And then, so they brought him back as Jay Garrick from Earth 3, I guess.
I guess so, yeah.
And so he's like, yeah, I'm Jay Garrick, and Flash is like, oh, but you're my dad who's dead, but I'm not going to tell you that. And the point, the best part about the fact that that this is Jay Garrick is the fact that this actor is playing the Flash again.
Yes.
This is the best thing they could do.
And like his costume is reminiscent of the old one.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they did a great job. And then they're like, oh, well, you know this creepy hat that fake Jay Garrick had?
Means hope.
Yeah, it means hope now. After he killed tons of people, it means hope.
And so like, and then Jerry's like, well, he took something away from me. I guess I better take that away from him. So he just wears it.
Yeah.
And that was awesome.
One thing, okay.
Okay.
To skip character development, because there was some, but overall it wasn't. Like, the only character development we really saw was between Wally and Barry. Not between them, but like those two were the main two.
Oh, we're talking about the entire season?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I think those two were the focal points. Obviously, those two being the Flash and the eventual Kid Flash / Flash.
And Jesse Quick.
Yeah. And so, of course, Barry became faster and stuff, and eventually he came to peace with his mom's death, and then not. But yeah, he grew a lot. He matured. He didn't change all that much though, which I think is kind of important to character development, not all characters change.
So, and then the whole ending with the Flashpoint paradox.
Yeah.
Now there's just this big question. It's like, what's that going to do to the other shows?
Yeah. Like, are they just going to continue normally?
It's like, I would actually, if they continue normally, they need to acknowledge that Flash is missing.
Yeah. Either that or
change the show entirely.
Or the Flash could still be there normally, but it would have to be after the entire Flash season, which would be, or after the Flashpoint paradox, where he goes back and he's like, hey, don't save your own mom now. It's bad.
That might be too risky.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that myself. But yeah, so basically, the season finale, I think the fight / race between Barry and Zoom, it was kind of anticlimactic. I wanted them. So, you know that one time when they captured Zoom, like they shot the boot or whatever onto Zoom?
Yeah.
And Barry's like, hi, you're never going to harm anyone again. And he's like, that's what you think. I'm going to run away now. And his eyes turned black and he like zoomed out. No pun intended. So he also mentioned something about the darkness. I was about to be super, super hyped that he was using the same kind of magic as was in Arrow. That would have been legit, because his eyes turned black.
Oh.
And that's how I was expecting him to have gotten out of the boot. But we didn't really see
when I
evidence of that.
saw like his darkness was coming, I was like thinking, the first thought that came to mind that Zoom wasn't the main villain of the entire series. I was like, is there a bigger villain than Zoom? But no, it's just Zoom being weird.
Yeah. So they could have explained that a little better too.
Yeah.
Overall, good season finale. I like the there's so much hype in the ending going to a Flashpoint paradox. I like that Barry is basically fed up with having to do the right thing all the time.
So I found there's something about the season that kind of made the show suffer for a bit. And that's kind of the same problem, almost the same problem with Arrow, is that Legends of Tomorrow, they started a new show, and they took away two of the Flash's biggest villains, well, most fun to see on screen. And so I thought, Snart and Mick.
Oh yeah.
And I thought that kind of made the show suffer because there's two.
Yeah.
But overall, they did have a lot of good stuff in it.
Yeah, I think overall it was a good season. It was, of course, having Wells back. The actor is so good.
Yeah.
He does a great job. And then we got to see Eobard Wells again, which was great. We have an introduction to Wally West. We have an introduction to Iris as Barry's girlfriend / wife eventually. Jay Garrick, of course, is going to be crucial. I feel like he's not going to stay in Earth 3. He's probably coming back.
He definitely has to come back every so often.
Yeah. Yeah. So
but I doubt that we'll probably have like any other superhero speedsters.
Yeah.
Because I believe what they're trying to do is they're just trying to focus on Flash and not Flash and Friends.
Yeah. I feel like Wally's going to get powers
eventually.
It's probably going to turn out to be a Roy Harper type of thing where they're like, hey, we're going to introduce you in season 2, but you're not going to become relevant until like 3 seasons later. But not really, because there aren't 5 seasons.
And then once you've actually done stuff, we're going to kick you off the show.
Yeah. Anyways.
Should we now?
Yeah, let's go ahead and switch over to Arrow.
Probably the least hypeable finale.
I liked the finale because it was... Well, okay. I liked how hype the end fight was, but it wasn't as good as the last finale that they had on Arrow. Or the one before that.
I think the biggest problem that Arrow had this season was that they lost their biggest writer.
Oh, yeah?
And because the main writer, he went on to go and do Legends of Tomorrow. So
I get you.
That's what I mean by suffering of the other shows. They take away elements from the other two shows.
I think...
And plus, Arrow's budget is getting smaller.
Yeah, and that's because they're realizing that Flash needs to have special effects. Legends has to have special effects. Arrow doesn't need them as much. They need special effects on the arrows, and if a villain needs some sort of special effects.
And then they try to do practical effects, and...
Yeah.
Well, one, they could look good, and two, they could look cheesy.
Yeah.
There's two ways I can go about it.
Of course, the whole thing about magic for this season was kind of... It felt like a cop-out, just because for science-based enemies, you can kind of explain things. For magic-based, it's kind of up in the air. Yeah,
I mean, which is why Constantine, I thought, was just fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And a good choice to have Vixen on board, too, even though she didn't really
I really couldn't actually watch Vixen because it would be a pain to actually find those episodes.
Yeah, I didn't watch the actual Vixen show, but I did see the episode with Vixen. She did okay. Yeah, I think there was the flashbacks at this point are kind of unnecessary.
I mean, here's the thing. It's like going back to the island, I thought, at first I thought, oh, okay. So I guess this is going to be interesting, but no, like the flashbacks, they just dragged on.
Well, and the thing was, like, the flashbacks, if you cut out everything else but the flashbacks were probably maybe like 15 minutes, but they kept on going back to them like they were super, super important
but they're not important.
Yeah.
Like the flashbacks are only important until Oliver gets the magic tattoo.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Yeah, and like I guess there's the whole like, oh, there's this magic stone that relies on death to get power.
Oh, guess what? The same statue that Dark has was on the island.
Yeah. But other than that, they were kind of pointless. There's that whole love story between him and that Russian chick that wasn't
Which actually there was no development for it. It's
yeah.
Just, we've been on the show long enough. Let's have a love interest.
Yeah. So I am hoping they're done with the flashbacks. I'm hoping they're done with magic.
Flashbacks they cannot be done with. Because he still needs to go to Russia and join Bratva, which I'm looking forward to. True. As long as they do it right.
Yeah.
And give him back his long hair.
Yeah. I don't know. They need to take away the magic for sure. I think they need to have.
It's like
other
if
villains.
they're ever gonna do magic, they need to have Constantine.
Yeah.
Because he's like when he was on that one episode, that was
awesome.
Probably, that's probably the best episode of the season, in my opinion. Because I love his character.
Now, one thing that I am absolutely hoping they do. Black Siren.
Ooh,
so in one of the more recent episodes of The Flash, we are introduced to Laurel's counterpart from Earth 2, who's this evil supervillain with supersonic lungs, much like the Black Canary from the comic books that we're used to. Except this chick's evil.
Yeah.
She's pretty crazy. And she doesn't get killed, but she does get captured. Our Laurel from Earth 1 is dead. I
did not like that decision.
I think it was good, but I really want this new Laurel to become Black Canary. That's what I want.
I doubt that they'll do that because they're trying to stay away from superpowers.
No. I'm not saying that she'd come back to Star City per se.
Okay.
But I think she could become a new Black Canary. I think they need to at this point. Because why else would they introduce her? I think they will. I'm looking forward to it.
Toa, you're making sense. I don't like you.
Yeah. I'm so excited for it too. So, in the end, I think... okay, so the fight for Arrow, a lot of it was, hackery stuff. We need to stop missiles, which was okay. It's pretty Arrow fashion to have to...
It's like, the threat of missiles destroying the Earth, did not really seem that big of a thing.
Yeah, it was like, there's this one missile that's heading for Star City. We can stop it, though. And and then everything else is like, oh, yeah. Everybody else is stopping their missiles, too. Also, they kind of just glossed over the fact that one of the cities in the U.S. got nuked.
Uh-huh.
And no other country is retaliating about that or anything.
So what happened to the other missile? The one that was heading to Star City? It's like... It headed over, and then what did they do with it? It's like they shined a flashlight at it, and it just went away.
Yeah. Also, so inverting the horizon and making missiles shoot up into space, for instance, wouldn't necessarily solve the problem, because there's this little thing called nuclear radiation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be bad.
Even if they... even if the nukes detonated... a few miles up away from the thing, that's still going to do a lot of damage to the city.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
the missile doesn't actually hit the ground.
It'll do more damage in the air than if it hit the ground. Yeah.
So there's that big issue.
Yeah, so...
And then there's magic, which...
Yeah.
The finale, they just oh, screw it, let's just do whatever.
Yeah, they're just like, okay... We're gonna give Oliver light magic, even though he said he couldn't use light magic. And
let's just say that Dark, his death magic, let's just take it away from him for no reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they're like, oh yeah, so the people that have guns, yeah, no, we're gonna just have them fight them out with civilians with bare hands.
No guns, yeah. And then let's have the main team just have a conversation while everyone else is killing each other in the background.
See, that I didn't mind so much because...
Yeah, me neither, because, that's something everyone nitpicks, and he's like...
Yeah, but at the same time, with everything else going on, it wasn't... Yeah.
It's like, wait, so you just engaged with Dark, and now you're having a conversation.
Yeah.
That was the only thing, that was my only problem with it.
Another thing, Dark, for me... I liked him, but I also didn't like him as a villain.
Well, as a villain, I liked him in the beginning because he was intimidating.
Yeah.
Intimidating. As he went on, he was just there.
Yeah, and he was just throwing quips out for no reason, too. Which was... At that point, I felt like the character was should have been too ticked off to make any sort of jokes.
And then, they just couldn't find a use for John Barrowman.
Yeah.
It's like, he was such a great character in the first season.
Yeah.
And then he's just...
now he's just there. They need to kill him off or put him in jail or something. Cause
just get rid of him.
They should.
As much as I loved his character, I think it's overused its welcome.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think he needs. If he's gonna die, he should die saving Thea. Or he should have died saving Thea somehow.
Yeah. And also, let's see. In the flashbacks, Oliver snaps that girl's neck.
Yep.
And kills her.
Yep.
How?
Yeah, I don't really know. It didn't seem.
It's like in episode before, we seen her get shot multiple times and survived. And then, her neck gets snapped, and now she's dead.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there's Dark. Just stabbed him, and he's dead. It's like, what?
I guess it just didn't.
Do you have magic arrows? What happened?
Yeah, I don't know. And then, I'm actually surprised that the people on the island believed her, but I'm glad they did, because it would have been annoying otherwise.
Yeah. Anyway, next season, he definitely needs to go to Russia.
Yeah, I think that's probably important. I of course want new Black Canary to be a thing. What else do I want?
Oh, Green. Oh, yeah. Oliver's now the mayor. The mayor.
What? Oh, yeah. That's kind of important too. I do. Okay, so I kind of like that they took Diggle out of it, because at this point, Diggle hasn't been such a great character. He was awesome in season 1. Season 2, he was pretty good. Season 3's decent, and now
now he's like, he's just there.
He's just there, and he's causing more drama.
At the end of season 3, there was so much excitement for the possibility of him being a new Green Lantern.
Yeah, and now that's faded. I kind of wish they had gotten rid of Felicity, to be honest.
No, yeah, in this season they just turned her into Oracle.
Yeah. And
then
they did make that allusion there to they heard that Oracle was already taken. That was good.
Well, one, her spine was paralyzed, and then she was like Oracle.
Yeah.
And then 2, they gave her the chip to fix her spine.
Yeah.
Which is the story for the New 52 Batgirl.
Yep. I think Arrow's been too much like Batman for a long time. I think in this next season they need to fix that up, because he's not Batman. And if they wanted to make a Batman show, they should have just made a Batman show.
I really miss the pacing of Arrow in season 1.
Absolutely. And
I think in all the TV shows, season 1 was probably the best thing, because once they go on to the second and third season, that's when they start adding a season-long arc.
Yeah.
Instead of each episode is individual.
Yeah. And I like long arcs, but
if they're done well.
Yeah, and the thing about season 1 was nobody knew that he was the Arrow until he revealed that to him. And if he did, it was a small, close-knit group of people. Now everybody in the city knows.
And they ended everything in a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So now it's just...
Yeah, I definitely miss season 1. And, the characters in season 1 made a lot more sense, I feel like. Now, they're kind of just throwing in characters wherever they want. Like Curtis, for instance. I like Curtis. But he's just Felicity 2.0.
With an afro.
Yeah. And who's also into guys still.
Yeah.
Which I'm not against, but it's still... it's just Felicity 2.0.
Yeah, basically. Let's see. There was something else. So, there's just a lot of things which I really want the show to bring back, like Huntress. There's one.
Would be good.
Wildcat.
Yeah.
Because they really just shoved him away.
Mm-hmm.
And they need to finish. They need to finish something with Katana.
Yeah. Another thing they could bring back is well, I guess not anymore because of Suicide Squad, but I was gonna say Deadshot.
Well, he's kind of dead.
As far as we know.
Well, there's Deadshot. There's Captain Boomerang.
Yeah, we want Captain Boomerang back, man. No, we don't. We do, but we don't.
Like we do. Just change his accent.
Yeah, he has to be Australian. I don't know. In the end, I thought I enjoyed the season finale. I enjoyed that Team Arrow is now basically just Oliver.
Oh, back to its roots. Just one character.
Yeah.
I think that would make it easier for them.
Yeah, Felicity's there too, but I guess he kind of needs some sort of eyes and ears. A
rumor that I heard, which I'm not sure if it's real or not. What's with the door opening?
That's my chair.
Okay. So a rumor that I heard is that in season 5 they might try to introduce the question.
Oh, that would be great.
And like and the thing that I'm kind of speculating, which is not true, is that he might be somewhat of an antagonist character.
Yeah, at least for an episode or two, like they would think he's an antagonist. Oh, I would love that, man.
The question. Oh, I mean, if they do the question, they need to bring back the Huntress. Because Justice League, they were shipped together.
Yeah, I would like that.
Ah.
Anyways, so we've highlighted these season finales.
But there's one thing that we're missing.
Okay.
Our favorite moments of each show.
All right, go for it.
Let's start with Legends of Tomorrow. It's really a gamble between two things. First one, I would probably say, is the episode where they go into the future Star City with somewhat Dark Knight Returns Arrow with his lost arm.
That was good.
And Deathstroke's son.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one would be Jonah Hex.
I liked all the stuff about the Time Masters. I especially liked the episode where they went back in time and they saw themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And they brought their younger selves to this place. That was one of my favorite episodes. When Snart died, that was sad, but it was good for his character. Yeah, Kronos reveal was okay too. That whole episode was fun.
Yeah. And then hopefully next season there is a new cast with new characters.
Yeah, I can enjoy a couple new characters.
So now
Flash?
Yeah, Flash. Well, Flash, to me there's only one thing that stands out from the rest of them, and that would be the episode where the Flash is in the Speed Force.
That one was pretty cool.
And that episode was directed by Kevin Smith, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I liked having the Speed Force as a sentient being. That'll be really interesting when he does Flashpoint, because I feel like Speed Force isn't gonna like him too much. I liked that whole episode, because that was when we really saw a lot more of Wally and Wells' daughter.
And then there's just a zombie girder for some reason.
I didn't like that.
It's like...
That was a little weird.
It's like, I'm glad that they brought that character back, but... okay.
Yeah.
Zombies, okay. I think the zombies were just there, just so they can have a conflict.
Yeah. Killer Floss... wow. Yeah. Killer Floss. Killer Frost was pretty cool, too. I'm glad that they put her in. Kind of sad that they killed her off. Makes me wonder if they're going to bring that back in Caitlyn.
I hope they do.
I kind of do, too. I love Caitlyn as a character right now, and I really don't want her to change, but at the same time...
So, I watched the first episode of Flash.
Uh-huh.
The first couple of episodes of Flash in Season 1. And then I watched a recent episode of Season 2, and it's like, wow, those are two separate characters right there.
Yeah.
Because, like, the beginning of Season 1, she was just snooty and evil.
Yeah. Yeah. Another... I'm trying to think of any other good parts. The reveal for Jay Garrick was great. The whole last episode was just really good.
Besides some minor details, but...
Of course, the reveal for Zoom to be quote-unquote Jay...
It's like, what?
Yeah, it was really bizarre. And then when he killed himself, yeah, it was really bizarre. Interesting, though. I liked it. The only major downside to this season, besides a little bit of drama between characters, was time remnants. They just didn't make sense. They didn't explain that well enough.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And how, off the bat we're introduced into the villain?
Yeah. Yeah. But overall, great season. They're getting good, getting better. I'm probably still gonna say I like season 1 more, but I like the origin stories. So
yeah. Of course, season 1 is always the best, unless you're Supergirl.
Yeah, I still haven't seen Supergirl.
Don't watch it. Just watch the crossover episode, and that's about it.
I'll do that. Then on to Arrow. This season wasn't super great. It became really dramatic.
Yeah, that's what happens.
There was a point when I wanted Felicity to be the one in the grave.
Yeah.
It was a bold choice going with Laurel. I really want to know what Laurel said to Oliver before she died. That was kind of glossed over.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure that the best part of Arrow Season 4 was probably the beginning part.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because that's where, you didn't really know, like, the villains. Well, Demian Dark was the villain, but we didn't really know to the extent of his power. But my favorite part of the season is very obviously going to be Constantine, because...
Constantine was great.
Did you watch the show?
I did not watch the show, but I am very willing to watch the show now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially Constantine... I just made, like, this thought. Basically... What the Arrow show is missing is that Oliver just needs to be more like Constantine, that joking person.
Definitely. Yes. Please, all the way. Yes. Oliver, in and of himself, is a jokester. Or at least he has his quips. He's the Pohachu of the DC universe. Like, he's responsible, but he's also got jokes.
If they do that for next season, I guess the way they explain it is, being the mayor is relaxing for people.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah. But I really hope. I doubt this is ever gonna happen. But I really want Constantine the show to come back.
I feel like it could now. At least like everybody who saw that episode probably likes the character of Constantine more now and is willing. I'm willing to watch the season now. Because
the season, like, it ended with cliffhangers, and it's like, now they're unresolved, and it's like, why no? I want to watch it. No.
Yeah.
And the thing that annoys me is that Constantine was taken down, but Supergirl, like, she has another season, and she's now on CW.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I watched the first episode of Supergirl. And, well, at least part of the first episode of Supergirl. And I couldn't get over the fact that it had the graphics of Smallville and, like, the story of, I don't know, some chick flick.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying it was bad per se, but it wasn't for me.
Yeah. Like, the only reason why I watched it is because it's canon. Like, because she's part of the universe now, and it's like, it's terrible, but I watched it.
Yeah. Anyways, so, final ratings per season, what would you rate Legends first?
7 or 8. 7.5.
Yeah, I actually agree with you on that. Flash.
8.
Yeah, I would even go as far as to say 8.5. It was pretty great.
And, I mean, compared to last season.
Yeah, yeah.
And Arrow, 5.
You're going 5? I was gonna say 6, but yeah.
It's 5 or 6, but I think 6 was probably being too generous.
It had its moments.
Yeah. That's basically it. And is that all we have for these 3 shows?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So. Well,
overall, like, they're good. I'd always recommend people to watch them because they're great. And even if Arrow isn't doing great, its crossovers with Flash and with Legends are pretty much worth watching it for. It kind of does suck that to watch all of the DC shows per week, you're consuming 4 hours of your week.
Yeah.
And I almost wish they did them on different seasons, but obviously because they work all together in one universe, they can't. Well, not in as cool of a way, I should say.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anywho, well, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.